Wonderful Friday. It's the 27th of October, and it is time for After Work Stories. A beautiful, sunny, balmy, Indian summer day, and we are going to read, Vera rides a bike. It is a perfect day to ride a bike. Yes. It's in the 70s, lower 70s, and balmy, and we just have to take advantage of weather like this. So this is a perfect story. I don't choose them ahead of time. They're in my bag, and I just blindly pick up one of them, and this is the one for today. So hopefully we'll take some time this weekend. Vera Rosenberry wrote this, and looked like she made the pictures. When Vera was sick, any child who's ever been sick and confined to bed will find this book right on the mark. Vera's first day of school, it epitomizes every child on that first day, a winning exploration of universal experience. Vera runs away. Oh my goodness, so these are different titles that she has. And Vera goes to the dentist. So let's delve into this one. Vera loves her shiny red tricycle, even if she is a little too big for it. When it disappears one day at the park, Vera is heartbroken until she gets her sister Elaine's old bicycle, which father paints green. Now, what's the connection and relationship between red and green? Yes, they're complementary colors. And the color wheel, you would see red is across from green. And we know that blue and yellow makes green, but red is a primary color. Well, anyway, he paints it green, Vera's favorite color, and this is my favorite shade of green, my favorite color in general. As long as someone is around to help Vera start and stop, she's set to go. But what happens when Vera suddenly finds she's riding on her own? Will she be brave enough to use the brakes? Once again, Vera Rosenberry offers a reassuring story about an exciting childhood experience, all through the lens of one indomitable heroine. Very nice. And that's cool that the author uses her first name as the main character. Maybe it's an autobiography. For Rahman, this is really his story, and in memory of his beautiful red tricycle. So we're not sure who Rahman is, but this is for him. Okay. One fragrant spring day, Vera and her mother went to the park. Vera rode her tricycle. She whistled a cheery tune as she pushed the pedals up and down. So we can replace that one spring day to one beautiful autumnal day. Vera loved her bright red tricycle. There was a round bell on the right handlebar, and streamers flowed out of the hand grips. Crepe paper from the 4th of July parade was still threaded around the front wheel, probably from the year before. I had that, set of streamers. Inside the park, Vera and her mother watched some fish swimming in a fountain. The sun warmed Vera's face and made golden patterns in the cold water as she dipped her hand in and out, hoping a fish would swish against them. Well, she's brave, because I used to be afraid of Flippy, Marvin, and Kathy, my goldfish, my sister's goldfish. And especially if we were cleaning out the little fishbowl aquarium and they happened to hop out of the water. Oh my, you're talking about some screams. But Vera was brave. Now, she's not screaming about the goldfish. What is she screaming about? Vera and her mother turned back to continue along the path, but Vera's tricycle was no longer where she had left it. My tricycle, Vera cried. Suddenly feeling dizzy and sick, Vera stared at the empty spot. No one was in sight, and it was so quiet. Even the birds had stopped singing. Dark clouds bubbled up in the sky. Oh no. Oh, that's the worst feeling. If something was stolen from you, or if you lost something, Vera and her mother looked everywhere for her tricycle. They reported its disappearance to the park police officers who took notes in a tiny book. Think of a time when someone stole something from you. I can remember someone stole a cell phone from a car. And I think a purse maybe. But I can remember leaving my purse in the back of the door in a washroom. You know how you hang it up? And it was a Coach purse. And it was at my university. And I went to class and everything. And then in class, I was like, oh my goodness. And I went back to the washroom. And do you know that my purse was still in that hook? Wasn't that a good feeling? Yeah. Oh, shoot. I just thought about it. I should have went somewhere. It began to rain. Sadly, Vera and her mother walked home. Maybe someone will find it, Mother said as she squeezed Vera's hand. But no one did. You never know. Think of something you have lost and someone returned it. Weeks went by and summer came. Vera missed her tricycle. She moped on the front steps. And I can also remember a car being stolen in college. And it was, oh, isn't that funny? One item was stolen at one university, and then another item was stolen at another college undergrad. And they stole my car, and I had so many suede and leather pieces, clothes like skirts, pants, because I was going to put it in a cleaners, the set of clothes, the next day, and they stole all that. Anyway, we recovered the car. It was stripped, and the clothes were gone. Well, anyway, she said, you were too big for it anyway. Talking about anyway. That's what she said about the missing bike. That's what her sister said, Elaine. Your knees bumped the handlebars. I know, Vera replied, but it was my very own tricycle, and I loved it. Look, Elaine, you weren't making her feel good. Sometimes Elaine would let Vera practice balancing on her big blue bicycle. Vera sat on the crossbar and scraped her feet along the ground, then raised them up to coast. But Elaine's bike was too big for Vera to ride properly. But eventually, Vera would be able to ride that bike. And oh, that would be a treat too. But right now, her heart was sad. But sometimes we gotta let things go. Let's see. On Saturday, Vera's father said he had a surprise. There in the driveway was a small green bicycle. Ooh, that's beautiful. Just the right size for Vera. This was Elaine's first bicycle, her father said. I repaired it and painted it your favorite color. One of my bedrooms is this color. Yes, it's beautiful. It was supposed to be your birthday present in November. And we have, 4 more days? 5 more days before November. But since your tricycle is gone, you may have it now. An early birthday gift. That's really nice, Papa. Vera remembered the broken and battered little bike, which used to be purple. She liked it much better green, and it looked new again. She kicked up the stand and happily walked her beautiful bicycle down the driveway. That's the best type of gift, when you can refurbish something that someone else might have had and it looks brand new, because that is from the heart. So way to go, Dad. Save that money. You don't have to always buy new gifts for kids, and they'll appreciate the effort. Here, said her mother, you will need this. Vera carefully strapped on a new white helmet. Father held the bike, and she mounted the seat. Her feet reached the pedals perfectly. Vera felt very big. Maybe we ought to put on training wheels, Father suggested. No, thank you, said Vera. I don't need them. I can balance well already. Big girl. Big girl. That's a good feeling. Father ran along the sidewalk, holding the bicycle while Vera learned to pedal. After a while, he occasionally let go. This reminds me of my dad teaching me how to ride a bike, and he taught me how to drive a stick shift. And I could always remember going into neutral, and then I had to put my left foot down on the clutch And I had to make sure that I go from neutral to first gear on a hill. Otherwise, you would go backwards. And oh, that was scary. I can remember that. But it's the same dynamic of coaching until you can let go. Almost every day after dinner, father or mother helped Vera ride her bicycle in the schoolyard. Soon, she could balance by herself after someone started her off. Then she would circle around and call out when she needed to be stopped. Sounds like some growing independence. Look at this, Papa. One evening, everyone was busy when Vera wanted to ride her bike. She put on her helmet and walked her bike to the schoolyard alone. Isn't that wonderful? Dad is playing the cello. Little sister is putting together a jigsaw puzzle. Looks like mom is writing a paper, a correspondence. Wow, what a gifted family. Just busy doing their thing. Vera saw Norman. He was going down the slide head first. I bet you can't ride that bike by yourself, Norman said. Yes, I can, Vera replied. But will you hold it so I can start? Sure, Norman said. Now that's good that he didn't tease her like, I thought you were a big girl, but you're a baby. No, that's a good friend. Vera proudly rode around the school on the smooth slate sidewalk. Norman was now in the swing set watching her. He waved as she flew by. Beautiful. Sounds like a great story to me so far. After a long time, Vera wanted to stop. She looked for Norman. Uh-oh. He was not on the swing set anymore. Vera rode around again. Norman, she called, pedaling slowly. Norman was not in the sandbox. He was not on the slide or the monkey bars. He must have gone home. Around and around Vera went. She wanted to go home too, but she probably didn't know how to stop. Oh. But she had to slow down to go around the corner, so it's the same dynamic. Help, Vera called, and Vera yelled, I can't stop. But there was no one in the schoolyard to hear her. The sun was beginning to set. Vera thought maybe she could ride all the way home, but she would have to cross some streets, and she couldn't stop to look for cars. Around and around and around Vera went. Her legs were tired. Oh, honey, stop pedaling. And the air was chilly. Finally, Vera said firmly, I will just have to use the brakes and stop myself, or I will be here all night. Yes, my dear. You would have to use the brakes yourself. Vera turned into the big kite flying field to help her slow down. She closed her eyes tight and pressed backward very hard on the pedals. Her bicycle stopped, but Vera didn't. She flew into the air and onto the long, soft grass. I can remember being in Cabo, Mexico, and we were riding those ATVs. And oh my goodness, going around those curves, going up the mountain and cliffs. Oh my goodness, that was daunting. And I could remember a few times when I got off the path and oh yeah, I just needed lessons. Anyway, I can relate to how if you're not sure about driving a new vehicle or working out the mechanisms, it can be like, not good. And I can remember getting to the edge and seeing a drop. Woo! And I just started, I was able to back up the ATV and slow it down and enjoy the journey from there. Vera lay in the sweet-smelling field. It was quiet and she was happy to be still at last. Carefully, she got up and dusted herself off. Her knees and elbows were skinned and grass-stained, but she was not hurt. That's good. But she shouldn't be out there alone. I know her parents, family were concerned. By now, the sky was almost dark. Vera walked her bicycle home. That was good. As quickly as she could. She shivered and her legs felt rubbery. Oh. In front of her house, Vera's parents ran up to meet her. Oh, I know they were happy. Where have you been, Vera? They asked. It is nearly dark. We were so worried. When they saw how tired and dirty Vera looked, they were just happy she was safely home. That's good that they didn't scold her, because, that could have been a very frightening experience for her. And to lock that on top of someone yelling and saying, you did this and that. Oh, no, it just made a very explosive, stressful event. So way to go, parents. Sometimes we just need to chill, be thankful that our children or whoever is okay. Then later on talk about like, hey, this such and such could have happened if, you didn't do this or that, next time, in a calm way. Vera's legs and arms were not working very well. Mother had to help her take a bath. Good for the tender treatment, Mom. As Father tucked her into bed, Vera said, now I can ride a bicycle all by myself. I even used the brakes. She smiled and yawned. Father kissed her good night. Tricycles are good when you are small, Vera thought as she closed her eyes, but riding my bicycle is almost like flying. And there she was. Great story of growing up and appreciating the little things in life. And look at this, Vera Rosenberry is the author and illustrator of other adventures. Like I mentioned before, she going to the dentist and running away on her first day of school. The above picture is of her son, Ramon, as a boy, learning to ride a bicycle, very much the way young Vera learned, without training wheels. And she lives in England with her hubby in Cambridge. All right, well, thank you so much for these memories. And it's a reminder for us to take a moment before we, react. And let's respond lovingly and patiently and enjoy.